Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Roll with Advantage. It is me, Joe, and I am here with a very special guest, Ryan, the wonderful and well-known dungeon mentor from Talk D&D. So today, welcome back to DM to DM, where I have different DMs on, and we talk through Discord about different things. So, Ryan, for one, introduce yourself. Let us know your experience with the game.
Yeah, so, well, hello, everyone. I started playing back in AD&D was where I started way back. I was a ranger. I really wanted to be a ranger. That was my thing. I also grew up with the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon when it came out, so I absolutely ran around for sure doing the fake bow pull, like this, like I had unlimited ammo thing. I was 100% that dude. You could see the golden flowing locks of hair just like he did. I absolutely. And that was my experience of that. It was also during the dark ages of the Satan scares and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that was, fortunately, my parents were reasonable people, and from there, so we were good. Long hiatus, and then looked in. I think I played maybe a game and a half, a 3.5. For that, so not a lot of touch base with that, and then jump back in at 5e.
I do want to go back to something you said at the very beginning, because it's kind of been a hot button topic in the D&D community, especially with 5e. You said that all the way back in AD&D, right? Is that what you said?
AD&D, yep.
AD&D, you would like the ranger, and you loved it. You had the golden locks, always shooting the arrows.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder, as somebody who started off as a ranger, just because it's an issue that some people have, how do you feel about the ranger in 5e?
I mean, everybody's disappointed in the Ranger. And I think they've had, the only thing that's disappointing, because I don't mind the fact that the Ranger wasn't quite perfect when it came out into the player's handbook, or underwhelming might be a better describing to it, but because it's such a cool concept, it's from that things, and I'm just kind of surprised that over the number of iterations that we've had of new books or of, with the various modules that have come out, various other things, that we haven't been able to fix it. We haven't been able to. I mean, there's an entire industry of Dungeons and Dragons YouTubers who have fixed the Ranger. Like that's almost like a prerequisite video that you have to put out that says, "Here's how I fixed the Ranger." Like, come on, wizards! You fix it.
Just hire one of these guys who've done it already.
One of the things I talk about a lot is it's not about, we as a group, so me the DM and you as the players, we are together, we're not adversaries.
Yes.
We are here to make an epic story. That's at least that's how I play them. I don't do a lot of one-shots. I do probably almost exclusively full-on campaigns.
Yeah.
So when we get into character creation, like I'm pretty serious about my session zero work. Those kind of things, because I want to make sure that your character is going to be something that you're going to go through character progression. There's going to be character arcs. I am going to spend an absorbent amount of time thinking about how I can make crap cool for you. And so if I'm going to put this much work in, I need you to do to help me out. And it's a collaborative game. That's the best part about this whole game, is the collaborative effort that we, player, DMs, we put together. It's amazing.
I was just going to say, you said one thing that I really loved, that is roleplay really matters. And that is something that I think every DM agrees with, but some DMs aren't exactly sure how to encourage or how to elicit the proper response. So one thing you said is that your players really took that and they ran with it. So how do you, as a DM...
Not at the beginning.
Not at the beginning.
The current group that we had 2 experienced players, or 3 experienced players, and 2 completely brand new people. Is our group, and we talked about the role play, and I think that's one of the things too. I think if anybody that's watched Critical Role thinks that, well, that's role play, and it's certainly role play, so let's not downplay that. But it's with professional people, and that's not necessarily what roleplay is. And I think, I think the thing that we try to get across them is like, all right, so tell me, I want to take my, I attack the goblin, or I attack the kobold, or I do this. Tell me how you did that. I usually ask them, I just kind of elicit, describe for me what that looked like then. You know, those kind of things, especially in the first session or two. I also do a pretty good job of, like I said, session 0 becomes pretty important, especially if I've got a new person. One of the things I'll talk about is role play. You don't have to do voices. You know, like my other DM, the DM that I get to share this experience with in our group, he doesn't really do voices for the most part. But sometimes I'll throw some in there, you know, every once in a while because it's fun. But that's a thing is role play doesn't mean voices. I think sometimes we equate those two things and it's not true. I think the eliciting that role play is just asking, tell me what that looks like. Give me some flavor. What is the color like when you cast Eldritch Blast?
Yeah.
How does that work? Is it coming from your symbol and is it turn a couple of colors and it shoots out this way out of your symbol, or is it from your hands? And then of course the most important thing to role play, in my opinion, if you're playing your character, is having a good flaw. That isn't obnoxious. You know, I don't like the tropey stuff so much. So like I'm a kleptomaniac, or you know, I'm an alcoholic, those kind of things. Also, sometimes that triggers people. And I don't mean that in a sense. It's sometimes there are people whose parents were alcoholics or things like that, and that creates a negative experience. And so I don't, you know, I try to avoid those things. But things like you're afraid of common objects, or you don't. There was one that I thought was hilarious where I had our barbarian was a pacifist, and so he basically wouldn't rage. Which, I mean, that's kind of tropey. There's a lot of people that do that one, but he played it really well. And by the way, he was a beginning player. He was one of our intro players, and that was. I just don't feel like, and the entire campaign played it out like. I don't really think I'm that mad. I mean, I understand the mechanical advantages to raging, but he's just not mad yet. And then something happened on the first round of battle, and he'd get like, you can't do that. Oh, and then he would get, you know, and then he'd go do it. Yeah. Right. So, but you know, things like that, or having allergies to stuff is hilarious.
Oh yeah. Have a banana allergy.
Things like that.
In case it ever comes up.
It's I try to have them pick something that might, we had one that was a wizard who was allergic to the woods. You know,
just allergic to grass.
In the woods and stuff. Yeah, that kind of a thing. And so, because he was in the books and stuff all the time, and, you know, and he never really went out and that kind of stuff. And so it makes sense. He's kind of, you know, as an indoor guy, you know. And so when you go outdoor, all of a sudden he would sneeze. And then we had a thing that if it was particularly bad, maybe he had to roll on a magic table to say that he accidentally, oh crap. Or a sorcerer could have the same kind of thing where they just naturally kind of, whoops, my bad, sorry. Why is really an important concept in a lot of things in life. So, you know, why is this the thing? I mean, I talk to people who have employees and things like that. Helping them understand the why between what you're asking them to do is really powerful and important. So, but that's really true here in Dungeons and Dragons. You know, why are your players going from point A to point B? Well, at the same time, if they can't find the why, it needs to be okay for them to pick their own why, which will also create a little bit of an issue. That's, I think you talked about controversies within the D&D community, railroading versus sandboxing, you know, kind of thing. And a really good railroad, you can do that and they don't know it. It's a railroad.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about making sure they understand why they're doing what they're doing.
Player death hurts me. You know, and I don't like player death. You know, fortunately, I've got the balance down, I think, figured out, because I've got it in my current campaign. We've had several players at Death Save 2, kind of, you know, one roll and you're gone, kind of a thing. I'm a big fan of changing the death rules. I don't like our current ones. I don't like the pop, you know, the whack-a-mole kind of thing, the healing whack-a-mole thing. I've set it up in my. I'm a big fan of home brewing within reason. You don't have to home brew 5e, you know, all over again. You don't have to make 6e, but you can make it. But I definitely make death a little bit more serious. But it's a simple change. All I do is throw a point of exhaustion on. For every time that if you go down and you get brought up, so if you go down, so you're in your death saves, when you get brought up by a healing, that's fine. You just get a point of exhaustion. It's an event. It occurred, and so you can whack-a-mole a couple of times, but exhaustion matters, man.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Yeah. And then I basically, and I don't have any current players that have this, but I basically say the Revivify is it's OP in my case. I just get ready to do a review in the next couple of weeks on on another campaign book, and one of their changes, and I really like it, is that Revivify is a 24-hour thing. So it's not a permanent bring you back to life thing. It only lasts for 24 hours, and then but it allows your character to complete something from an RP perspective.
Wow.
Or, you can bring back it for one last, whatever, or take care of something, or try to whatever. I'm like, oh, that's really good, because third level just feels like that's way too early to be able to bring somebody back from the dead.
From literally dead, yeah. We're gonna end on a good note here. So,
okay,
you as you say in almost all your videos, you are a dungeon mentor. So a dungeon mentor. What is one golden nugget? Now, this could be for a DM, it could be for a player, or both. But like one sentence or two sentences, just one little golden nugget that you feel could change the way somebody looks at the game.
That's a good question, and of course, trying to do that in one sentence. Be willing to suspend belief. Be willing to try something. That's both players and DMs. Be willing to try, I think, is if you're a player and you're thinking about being a DM, try it. That kind of thing. You'll be a better player for it. As a DM, think about, like, they want to do something, but try it. Why not? And this is a great place. Dungeons and Dragons is a great place to try something. I think it's really interesting. Like I was talking about at the very beginning, we talked about how I came in and there was the Satanistic scares. Oh my gosh, Dungeons and Dragons is bringing people to Satan. Funny enough, now in schools there's clubs and people teaching Dungeons and Dragons, and and therapists are using it, and it's used, and like. It's a therapeutic to prisoners on using Dungeons and Dragons, and because it does a really good job of teaching social interaction. It does a really good job of teaching how we can see the perspective of others, and especially in our world right now, the ability to stand on the other side and put your feet in someone else's shoes and take a look. This gives us a really good way of practicing that, and I think it's a safe place. It's really safe to do that, and I think so. I would say my thing is both players, try a character type that is not who you normally would be. So if you're normally like, I'm a little bit extroverted, but try playing an introvert. Try to act like what it is to be an introvert. If you're an introverted person, try to be the gregarious, thing that comes out, or you get to be somebody you're not. Don't be yourself. You are. Hold on, let me get onto you. You are an amazing person, and we love you. But you can try being other people and try those things out and see how they work. And I think it's an amazing thing. That's why I'm so passionate about. And I like, my tagline is, I want to engage and inspire you as players and dungeon masters, because it's such a great game that you can get a lot out of if you play it and play with some good people.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much, Ryan. This has been a wonderful interview. Honestly, I have had a good time. I laughed a lot, and I think even me as a DM of just 4 or 5 years, I've learned a lot from this interview. So thank you personally from me to you.
I had a great time. This was great. We should do this again.
Oh, for sure. I would honestly love to. But okay, well, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you liked anything that Ryan over here said, I will have his channel linked in the doobly-doo, the description. Have it linked there. Go subscribe to him.
Going Matt Colville on.
Hey. But yeah, go subscribe to him. Watch his videos. There's a lot of good stuff. I really recommend the newest videos about Icewind Dale, because honestly, that is a setting that I didn't know anything about until I watched some of his videos, and I am in love with it now. I think it's so awesome.
It's gonna be so great.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you for watching. If you want to see more of these DM to DM, subscribe here, and yeah, Well, thank you so much, and have a good rest of your day.